My dear child, listen carefully, not only with your ears, but with the quiet place inside your heart where the noise of life has not been able to reach. Before you move on to the next task, before you pick up another burden, before your mind runs ahead into everything waiting for you, stop for a moment. Just stop. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders soften. Let your hands loosen around the things you have been trying so hard to control. You have been running for a long time. Running through responsibilities. Running through pressure. Running through mornings that begin too quickly and nights that end with your mind still awake. You have been carrying so much that even when your body sits still, your soul does not know how to rest. And I see you. I see the tiredness you try to hide. I see the heaviness you cannot always explain. I see the way you wake up with worries already waiting for you. And the way you go to sleep with some of those same worries still pressing against your chest. I see the tears no one else saw. I heard the prayers you barely had strength to whisper. I heard the questions that rose from your heart in the dark. God, where are you? Can you hear me? Why is this so hard? Why do I feel so lost? My child, I heard every word. Not one prayer disappeared into empty air. Not one tear escaped my notice. Not one silent ache was hidden from me. I have been near you in the moments when you felt most alone. I have been present in the rooms where you thought no one understood. I have been holding you, even when you did not have the strength to feel held. This is not just another message passing through your day. This is a holy pause. This is the Father calling his beloved child to come closer. Not because you have failed. Not because you are being condemned. Not because I am angry that you are tired. I am calling you because I love you too much to let you keep running while your heart is breaking quietly beneath the weight. You were not created to live in constant striving. You were not created to carry every fear, every outcome, every expectation, every unfinished question, and every hidden sorrow on your own shoulders. You were created to walk with me. You were created to know my voice. You were created to breathe in my presence and remember that you are not alone in your own life. Somewhere along the way, you learned how to keep moving even when your spirit was exhausted. You learned how to smile while feeling empty. You learned how to answer, "I'm okay," when your heart was asking for help. You learned how to stay busy, because slowing down would mean facing what you have been trying not to feel. But today, I am not asking you to perform strength. I am asking you to come home. Come home from the noise. Come home from the pressure. Come home from the belief that everything depends on you. Come home from the fear that if you stop holding everything together, everything will fall apart. My presence is not a place where you have to pretend. My presence is where your soul can finally breathe. You can bring me the weariness. You can bring me the confusion. You can bring me the ache you do not know how to name. You can bring me the version of yourself that feels tired, unfinished, and unsure. I am not waiting for a polished version of you. I am waiting for you. Matthew 11, verse 28 says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." That is my invitation to you today. Come, not when everything is fixed. Come, not when you understand everything. Come, not when your emotions are steady and your faith feels strong. Come now. Come tired. Come be honest. Come slowly. Come with the little strength you have left. Come with the questions still unanswered. Come with the tears still close to the surface. And as you come, pray this quietly. Father, I stop running. I lay down what I have been carrying. Let my heart become quiet enough to hear you again. Wrap me in your presence. Teach me how to rest. Not away from you, but with you. Stay with this moment. Because before God heals what is heavy, He first calls your heart to stop running. My dear child, Now that you have stopped running, I want to speak to the weight you have carried longer than you were ever meant to carry. I want to speak to your past. Not the version of your past you mention casually. Not the parts you can explain with a calm voice. I am speaking about the memories that still make your heart tighten. The mistakes you replay when the night is quiet. The words you wish you could take back. The choices you made in a season when you were confused, wounded, afraid, or far from me. You have carried those memories like stones. Quiet stones. Hidden stones. Stones no one else may see. But you feel their weight every day. And sometimes, when something good begins to happen in your life, those stones begin to speak. They whisper, "You do not deserve this. Remember what you did. Remember who you were. Remember how badly you failed. But listen to me carefully. That voice is not my voice. Conviction leads you back to me. Shame pushes you away from me. Conviction brings light, so healing can begin. Shame brings darkness and tells you to hide. Conviction says, 'Come home.' Shame says, 'You are too far gone.' My child, I am not calling you by your shame. I am calling you by grace. When I forgave you, I did not forgive you halfway. I did not wash you only on the surface while keeping a record of your failures hidden behind my back. I did not offer mercy with one hand and hold condemnation in the other. My forgiveness is not fragile. My mercy is not reluctant. My grace is not smaller than your worst mistake." Psalm 103, verse 12 says, "As far as the east is from the west, so far hath he removed our transgressions from us." Think about that slowly. East and west do not meet. You can keep walking east and never arrive at west. That is the picture my word gives you. Not a small distance. Not a temporary distance. Not enough space for your sin to crawl back and reclaim your identity. I have removed it. So do not keep dragging back what I have already carried away. This does not mean your choices never mattered. It does not mean there are never things to repair, apologies to offer, wisdom to learn, or new steps of obedience to take. Grace does not make you careless. Grace makes you new. Forgiveness does not erase maturity. It gives you the courage to grow without being crushed by shame. You can take responsibility without living under condemnation. You can learn from yesterday without being imprisoned by it. You can acknowledge what was wrong without letting it become your name. You are not your worst moment. You are not the darkest chapter of your story. You are not the broken version of yourself that fell apart when you did not know how to stand. You are my child. Loved, forgiven, washed, held, called forward. There is a life ahead of you that cannot be entered while your hands are still full of old stones. So today, in my presence, begin to let them fall. One by one. The regret, the shame, the self-punishment, the memory that keeps accusing you, the label you placed on yourself because of what happened. Let it fall. Not because the past was nothing, but because my mercy is greater. Pray this slowly. Father, I bring you the past I have carried for too long. I bring you the mistakes I still remember, the shame I still feel, and the parts of my story I have been afraid to place in your hands. Teach me to receive the forgiveness you have already given. Help me make things right where I can. Grow where I need to grow. And stop living as though shame has the final word over me. Breathe for a moment. Let grace enter the place where shame has been sitting. The past may still be part of your story, but it is no longer allowed to be your master. And when the stones of yesterday begin to fall from your shoulders, I will also teach you how to stop carrying tomorrow. My dear child. Now, let us speak about tomorrow. Let us speak about the weight you feel when you do not know what is coming next. The tightness in your chest. The restless thoughts at night. The questions that begin with what if and then keep multiplying until your heart feels surrounded by possibilities you cannot control. What if this goes wrong? What if the answer never comes? What if the money is not enough? What if the door closes? What if someone I love gets hurt? What if I cannot handle what is ahead? I know those questions. I know why they feel so loud. You worry because you care. You worry because you have been hurt before. You worry because life has taught you that things can change quickly, and your heart is trying to prepare itself before pain arrives. So I am not speaking to you with anger. I am speaking to you with tenderness. Feeling worried does not mean you have failed in faith. It means you are human. It means your heart is reaching for safety. But I need you to understand this gently and clearly. Worry is not protection. Worry does not make tomorrow safer. Worry does not stop pain before it comes. Worry does not solve the problem while you sleep. Worry only takes strength from today and spins it on a future that is not yet in your hands. It promises control, but it gives exhaustion. It promises preparation, but it often creates fear. It promises safety, but it cannot carry what only God can carry. That is why I am inviting you to bring your worry to me. Not hide it. Not deny it. Not pretend you are stronger than you feel. Bring it honestly. Bring it specifically. Bring it before it grows roots in your mind. Philippians 4, verses 6 and 7 says, "Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God." Notice this. My child, the scripture does not say, "Have no needs." It does not say, "Feel no concern." It does not say, "Pretend nothing is difficult." It says to bring everything to God in prayer. Every fear, every need, every question, every burden, every tomorrow you keep trying to hold in your hands. You were never asked to carry the whole future at once. I taught you to pray for daily bread, not bread for every year ahead, not strength for every imagined crisis, not answers for every possible road. Just daily bread, grace for today, wisdom for today, strength for today, peace for today. And when tomorrow becomes today, I will be there too. You do not need to run ahead of me into every uncertain place. You do not need to enter rooms I have not yet opened. You do not need to suffer through imagined outcomes as if fear can prepare you better than my presence. Come back to this moment. Come back to my hand. Come back to the breath you are taking now. Imagine the worry you have been carrying like a heavy backpack. Inside it are all the what-ifs, all the fears, all the names of people you love, all the outcomes you cannot control, all the things you keep turning over in your mind. Feel how heavy it has become. Feel how long you have carried it. Now, in prayer, take it off. Place it before me. Say it honestly. Father, I am afraid. I am afraid of what I cannot control. I am afraid of what might happen. I am afraid of being disappointed again. But I bring this fear to you. I give you the burden I was never meant to carry alone. Give me wisdom for what I must do today, and peace for what I must leave in your hands. This is not irresponsibility. Trust does not mean you stop doing your part. Trust means you do your part without letting terror rule your heart. Make the call. Take the step. Have the conversation. Plan with wisdom. Work faithfully. But do not bow down to fear as if fear is your guide. Fear is not your shepherd. I am. So when anxiety rises, pause before you react. Do not immediately reach for more noise. Do not let your mind rehearse the worst ending again. Sit still for 1 minute. Breathe slowly. Name the fear before God. Then speak truth over your heart. God is with me today. I have grace for this moment. I do not have to carry tomorrow before it comes. My Father knows what I need. Peace may not always arrive like lightning. Sometimes it comes like warm light through a window, slowly touching the room until the shadows begin to soften. A single honest prayer, a surrendered breath, a quiet decision to trust. And the soul begins to remember that it is not alone. My child, I have carried you before. I have brought you through days you thought would break you. I have held you in seasons you did not know how to survive. I have made a way when you could not see one. And I am not leaving you now. So say this with a sincere heart. Lord, I release tomorrow into your hands. Give me daily bread for today. And stay close. Because sometimes, after God takes the weight from your shoulders, He also asks you to trust Him when He stops your progress. My dear child, listen carefully. There are seasons when you feel as if everything has suddenly stopped. You were moving forward. You were praying. You were trying. You were hoping. You thought the path was beginning to open. And then something changed. A door closed. A delay appeared. The answer did not come. The progress you expected seemed to pause without explanation. And in that pause, your heart began to wonder. Did God forget me? Did I do something wrong? Has the future I hoped for been taken away? But my child, not every pause is punishment. Not every delay is rejection. Not every closed door means your story has ended. Sometimes, when God stops your progress, He is not stopping your purpose. He is strengthening your foundation. Think of a house being built. From the outside, everyone notices the walls rising, the windows being placed, the roof taking shape. That is the part people celebrate. That is the part people can see. But before any beautiful structure can stand, the foundation must be examined. If the ground beneath it is weak, cracked, or unstable, then building higher would not be a blessing. It would be a danger. So the builder stops, not because he hates the house, not because he has changed his mind about finishing it. He stops because he knows what the house must be able to endure. And this is what I may be doing in you. You want me to build quickly. You want the door to open now. You want the relationship healed now. You want the answer released now. You want the next chapter to begin now. But I am looking deeper than the surface. I am looking at what your peace is resting on. I am looking at what your identity is standing on. I am looking at what your heart runs to when life becomes uncertain. Is your security built on money? Is it built on people's approval? Is it built on a relationship? Is it built on your own strength, talent, control, or ability to keep everything together? Those things may feel stable when life is calm. But my child, they are not strong enough to hold your soul when the storm comes. Matthew 7, verses 24 and 25 says, Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Notice this. The wise man was not spared from rain. He was not spared from wind. He was not spared from floods. The difference was not that his life had no storms. The difference was that his house stood on the rock. That is what I want for you. I do not want you to have a life that looks successful on the outside but collapses the moment pressure comes. I do not want you to build a future on fear, comparison, pride, approval, or control. I do not want to give you something that becomes too heavy for an unprepared heart to carry. So sometimes, I slow you down. Sometimes, I close what you kept trying to force open. Sometimes, I bring you into a quiet season where the hidden places of your heart can finally be seen. Not to shame you, not to take from you, but to make you steady, The rock is not your performance. The rock is not your perfection. The rock is not your ability to understand every detail of my timing. The rock is my word, my character, my faithfulness, my love that does not shift when your emotions do, my presence that remains when everything else feels uncertain. So do not despise the pause. Do not assume nothing is happening, because nothing is visible. Deep work is often quiet work. Foundations are formed beneath the ground, where no one applauds, where no one sees, where progress feels hidden. But what is built there determines what can stand later. Pray this with honesty. Father, if you are strengthening my foundation, help me not to resist you. Show me where I have built my peace on things that cannot hold me. Teach me to trust your timing, even when I feel delayed. Build my life on your word, your presence, your love, and your faithfulness. Make me steady before you make me visible. My child, the pause is not the end. The closed door is not proof that I have stopped loving you. Sometimes, my no is not the opposite of my love. Sometimes my no is my love protecting you from what you cannot yet see. And when the foundation becomes steady, I will teach your heart to trust me even when the picture still does not make sense. My dear child, there is a question you have carried quietly. Maybe you have not spoken it out loud. Maybe you have hidden it beneath prayers, responsibilities, and the need to keep going. But deep inside, your heart has asked it many times. Why? Why did this happen? Why did that door close? Why did that person leave? Why did the answer take so long? Why did the season become so painful? Why did I pray and still feel surrounded by silence? I know that question. I know how heavy it feels when life does not make sense. I know the ache of holding broken pieces in your hands and trying to understand how they could ever become something whole again. I know the exhaustion that comes from replaying the same chapter, searching for a reason that would finally allow your heart to rest. But listen to me gently. Understanding is not always the path to peace. Sometimes you believe that if I explained everything, if I showed you every reason, every hidden purpose, every future outcome, then you would finally be able to breathe. But my child, there are some answers your heart is not ready to carry yet. There are some details that would not comfort you right now. There are some mysteries that can only be understood from a different place, at a different time, with a healed heart and a wider view. So I am not asking you to pretend you are not confused. I am not asking you to fake peace. I am not asking you to smile at what still hurts. I am asking you to trust me in the mystery. Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." Notice, my child, I did not say you would understand everything first. I said, trust. Trust does not mean the pain was small. Trust does not mean the question was wrong. Trust means that even when your understanding reaches its limit, my wisdom has not reached its limit. Even when your eyes cannot see the path, my hand still knows how to lead you. Think of a tapestry. From the back, it looks unfinished. Threads hang in strange directions. Colors cross in ways that seem confusing. Knots appear where beauty should be. If you only saw the back, you might think the weaver had made a mistake. But from the front, there is a picture, a pattern, a beauty that could not be seen from the other side. My child, right now, you may be standing at the back of your tapestry. You see the loose threads. You see the dark colors. You see the places where things seem tangled, delayed, or broken. And from where you are standing, it may look like confusion, but I see the front. I see what you cannot yet see. I see how I can weave mercy into pain, wisdom into delay, protection into closed doors, humility into waiting, and deeper faith into the places where you felt most uncertain. This does not mean every painful thing was good. It means I am good enough to redeem what pain tried to destroy. So, bring me the question. Bring me the confusion. Bring me the part of your heart that still says, Lord, I do not understand. You do not need to clean up that prayer. You do not need to make it sound strong. You can pray it exactly as it is. Father, I do not understand this. I do not like this. It hurts. And I do not know why you allowed it. But I choose to bring my questions into your presence. I choose to trust your heart when I cannot trace your hand. Give me enough light for the next step. Give me peace for today. Help me walk with you. Even while I am still waiting for clarity. That prayer is faith. Not loud faith. Not polished faith. But real faith. The kind of faith that trembles and still reaches for my hand. The kind of faith that cries and still whispers, I trust you. The kind of faith that does not have every answer, but refuses to walk away from the one who holds the whole story. So do not make a permanent decision from temporary confusion. Do not let one painful chapter convince you that the whole story is ruined. Do not assume that silence means absence. I am still here. I am still working. I am still weaving. And one day, whether in this life or in eternity, you will see more clearly. You will understand what you could not understand here. You will see that I was not careless with your tears. I was not absent from your waiting. I was not distant in your dark season. Until that day, walk with me, slowly, honestly, one step at a time. And as your heart learns to trust God in the mystery, He will begin to open your eyes to what truly matters today. My dear child, as we come to this final part, I want to call you back to the life your soul has been longing for. Not a life of constant noise, not a life of endless striving, not a life where you keep filling every quiet space because silence makes you uncomfortable. A life with me. A life where your spirit is no longer starving while your mind is full of distractions. A life where you learn to slow down. Breathe deeply. Receive my word. Rest without guilt. Love the people in front of you. And walk forward in grace. You have tried to feed a spiritual hunger with earthly things. You have reached for noise when your soul needed stillness. You have reached for distraction when your heart needed prayer. You have reached for more information, more entertainment, more movement, more activity. When deep inside, what you truly needed was my presence. But my child, you cannot fill the deepest place of your soul with temporary things. That emptiness is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is proof that you were made for me. So begin again, not with pressure, not with shame, not with a long list of impossible promises. Begin simply. Before you reach for your phone in the morning, pause for one quiet moment. Place your hand over your heart and say, Father, I am here. Feed my soul today. Open my word not as a religious duty, but as bread for a hungry spirit. Matthew 11, verse 28 says, Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That invitation is still open. Come when you are tired. Come when you are distracted. Come when you have failed. Come when you feel far away. Come when you do not know what to say. You do not need perfect words to enter my presence. You only need an honest heart. And I want you to learn the holiness of rest. You have treated rest like something you must earn. But rest was never meant to be a reward for exhaustion. Rest is part of my design. It is one of the ways you remember that you are human and I am God. When you sleep, the world does not fall out of my hands. When you stop, I do not stop caring for you. When you say no to what drains you, You are not being selfish. You are learning stewardship. You are protecting the heart, body, and spirit I gave you. John 15, verse 5 says, I am the vine. Ye are the branches. A branch does not produce fruit by panic. It produces fruit by remaining connected. So stay connected to me. Abide in me. Let your life grow from communion, not exhaustion. And my child, bring into my light what you have been hiding, the habits that shame you, the patterns you do not talk about, the rooms of your heart you have tried to keep locked because you feared what I would say if I entered them. I already know, and I am still here. I am not standing outside those hidden places with condemnation. I am standing there with light, and darkness loses power when it is brought into my presence honestly. So pray. Father, I come home. I bring you the parts of me I have hidden. I bring you my hunger, my weariness, my loneliness, my distractions, and my shame. Teach me to live slowly with you. Teach me to rest. Teach me to love wisely. Teach me to walk in truth. Do not run from loneliness. Bring it to me. Your loneliness does not mean you are unlovable. It means you were created for connection. I am with you in the quiet, and I am also able to lead you toward relationships that are healthy, faithful, and life-giving. Do not run from interruptions. Some of them are invitations to love. Do not run from your ordinary days. I often meet you there. Do not compare your path to someone else's. Their timeline is not your assignment. Their harvest is not proof that I forgot your field. Let your roots grow deep. Let your season unfold in my hands. And do not grieve the years as if I cannot redeem them. Nothing placed in my hands is wasted. Not the delays. Not the tears. Not the wrong turns. Not the seasons you wish had gone differently. I am the God who restores, rebuilds, and brings purpose from places you thought were only loss. So now, breathe deeply. Let this be your prayer. Lord, I stop my striving. I trust you completely. I receive your forgiveness. I release my worry. I surrender my need to understand everything. I choose to come home to you. Fill my heart with your peace. Feed my soul with your truth. Teach me to walk forward, slowly and faithfully, as your beloved child. Do not leave this moment carrying the same weight. Come home to the Father and take the next step in grace.